actually speak louder than words?
All right,
No, that's why I
let's
just
get this done. Should be able to finish really early. Hey, who dropped that? Who dropped the origami bird? Did I put it back?
No.
Ignacio?
No.
That was Noah.
Noah.
Yeah, Noah.
Noah or
I
Noah?
don't even fold it.
Noah. Noah and Noah.
Okay, 6A. Convert the following complex numbers to standard form. So you got 4, KISS, 240. So basically, you just have to know what KISS stands for. KISS is an abbreviation for
Cosine, I sine.
plus I sine theta. Okay, and then you just gotta know your trig values. Cosine of 240. I can do this.
We're there with two.
Okay, 240 degrees is right there.
Negative root 2.
No.
Oh,
Look, when you make the triangle, look, the x value is small, the y value is big.
It'll be a good day.
So what?
-1/2.
Negative half. And what is sine of 240?
Root 3 over 2.
Negative
There
root
we
3
go.
over 2. And then the I always goes on the second one. And then all you have to do is distributize the 4. So negative 2 minus 2 root 3i. Bam! And then B, I guess that's going to be the hardest part for you guys tomorrow, right? Knowing the trig values. 3 KISS, 3 pi over 2. Okay, so again, KISS stands for cosine theta plus I sine theta. And then just plug in your trig values. 3 pi over 2 is right there. So the x coordinate is 0 and the y coordinate is
Negative 3.
negative 1i. Distribute the 3, so you get 0 minus 3i. You can leave your answer like that, or if you want to simplify it to negative 3i, I will accept either. Now, got to go the other direction. Convert the complex number from standard form to polar form. And what's the bestest way? Draw the picture. So, real and imaginary. So if I go 2 to the left and 2 down, so basically you're plotting the point -2, -2, right? How far from the origin are you? 2 root 2. And of course, this is a 45-degree angle right there. So what's the angle going all the way around like that? Would be 180 plus 45, which is? Yeah, so this would be 2 root 2 KISS, and then the angle is 180 plus 45, 225. And I will accept radians or degrees. It's up to you. So if you want to, what would be the radian measurement for that? 5 pi over 4. Either one. Okay. And then B, what is B? 0 minus 5i. So plot the point 0, -5. So 0, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. How far from the origin are you? 5. And then what is this angle going all the way around like that?
225.
3 pi over 2, 270.
5.
Or would you rather just go -90?
Negative 9.
I'll accept whatever, as long as it's correct. Okay, and then now you gotta know your theorems. So number 9A, simplify and leave. See, so this is easy, because you don't have to change it back. It just says leave your answer in polar form. You can breeze through these right here. So when you're multiplying complex numbers, what do you do with the 2 r's? You multiply the r's, and what do you do with the 2 angles? You add them, so that's 60 degrees. It's like, that might be the easiest problem on the whole test right there. And then D, dividing complex numbers. What is that, 80 degrees divided by 2 KISS 50. So when you're dividing complex numbers, what do you do with the r's? You divide them, and then what do you do with the angles? You subtract them 30. That's probably the second easiest problem on the whole test. And then C, how do you raise a complex number to a power? What is that, pi over 6 to the 8th power? So then we're going to use the Mob's theorem. You don't even have to know the name, you just got to be able to do it. So what do I do with the 2? you raise it to the 8th power,
256.
256. And then what do I do with the angle? You multiply it times that power. So pi over 6 times 8 is 4 pi over 3. That was pretty easy too. Now, of course, if you have to change it back into the a plus bi form, then you gotta do a little more work, but you don't have to. So that's gonna go really fast. And then the last two problems, you have to solve a complex number. So 10a, not solve an equation. Z to the third is equal to 8 kis 90. Now before we even start, how many answers are there gonna be? 3. So make sure you got 3 now. Because if you only got one answer, you're gonna have a whole bunch of points coming up. So the thing is already in polar form, so you don't even have to do anything. Okay? So, do I need to write the formula or can we just go to the answers? Okay, here's the formula.
It's
So
on video.
Z is equal to the cube root of 8, right? That's n, that's r, that's theta. You just plug it into the formula. Kis 90 degrees plus 360k all over 3, where k is equal to 0, 1, and 2. How come I stopped at 2?
That's more than
N
point
minus
three.
Yeah, because that's n minus 1. So if n is 3, then n minus 1 is 2. But that's how you get 3 answers, right? You plug in these 3 numbers. So your first answer, cube root of 8 is 2. See, you don't really need to use the formula if you know what's happening. Like I told you, this is the reverse of de Moivre's theorem. So see how de Moivre's theorem works? You raise that number to the power and you multiply the angle times the power. So now we're going backwards. So you're going to take the cube root of 8, which is 2, and then what do I do with this angle? You divide it by 3. So 90 divided by 3 is 30. Or if you want to, you can memorize the formula and you just plug in 0. What happens when I plug in 0 here?
0.
You get 90 plus 0 is 90 divided by 3, see how you get 30? But that's what you're doing, you're just dividing it by n. But that's just how you get the first answer. Now remember, all the answers are equally spaced apart, so if you have 3 answers and they're all equally spaced apart, you go 360 divided by 3, what do you get?
120.
120. So all the answers are 120 degrees apart. So once you find the first one, to get the next one, you just add 120 to that,
150.
and then you add another 120 to that. 270, and there you go, those are your 3 answers. Because remember, you guys forget so easy. Remember on the homework when we did it, you guys had problems plugging in 1 and 2. So that's why you don't need to do that. Just they're always going to be equally spaced apart. That makes it easy. So in problem B, you got z to the 4 is equal to 16 kis 2 pi over 3. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to write the formula. We're just going to go straight to it. So what you do is you take the 4th root of 16, 2, and then you divide that angle by 4, which is like multiplying by 1/4, pi over 6. Okay, so that's the first answer. Now remember, there's going to be 4 answers now. So they're all going to be equally spaced apart. So what's 360 divided by 4? Oh gosh. 90. So they're all going to be 90 degrees apart, or pi over 2. Now, if you don't like radians, just change that to degrees then from the beginning. If you don't, because I'll accept either. So what is 2 pi over 3 if you don't like radians? 120 degrees, right? So when you divide that by 4, that's why you get 30, right? Because some of you would just, it's just easier to add 90, yeah? Instead of pi over 2. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, you guys think you can do it? Okay, add pi over 2 to that. 2 pi over 3. See, some of you struggling already, right? How do you get that? Making these common denominator, right? And then the next answer, you add another pi over 2. 7 pi over 6. And then add another pi over 2. 5 pi over 3. Yeah, so like if you have problems with radians and fractions, then just change it to degrees here. And when you divide it by 4, you get 30, right? And then you just keep adding 90 every time. So add 90 to that. 120. Add another 90. 210. Add another 9. 300. I don't care, I'll take radians or degrees. So if you don't like radians, change it to degrees. If you don't like degrees, change it to radians. Okay, last thing now, what would happen if I put a bonus on the test and put something like this? Compute, how about root 3/2 plus 1/2 I? You guys are class of 2017, most of you?
Yeah.
Okay, raise it to the 2017 class. Go. What did we learn this chapter? How do you raise a complex number to a power? You're gonna use de Moivre's theorem. So, but in order to use de Moivre's theorem, this has to be in polar form. You have to write it in Archis theta form. So how do I change from standard to polar? Draw the picture. Okay, if I go radical 3/2 to the right and 1/2 up, how far from the origin am I? People, when you see the radical 3 there, it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And in a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle, the hypotenuse is double the short leg. It's 1. Or how about just use the Pythagorean theorem if you have to, right?
Yeah.
3/4 plus 1/4 is 1. And then what's this angle? Well, I just told you what that angle is, 30 now. Do you want to do degrees or radians?
Degrees.
You sure? Because then you're going to multiply 30
no,
degrees
no.
times that. I think,
Radians.
if you ask me, radians is better, but it's up to you. You can do whatever you want. You want to do 30? Okay, now how does de Moivre's theorem work? 1 to that power is 1. And then you multiply the angle times the power. So that would be 2017 pi over 6. Mr. Park, I'd rather just multiply the 2017 by 30 and then just keep reducing it down. I don't know if you would. Some of you might have problems multiplying 2017 times 30. And now what? Now, because this angle is just way too big, how do you work with that? Remember what? Yeah, you change it to a mixed number. So 2017 divided by 6 is 3 goes into 20, 3 times 2 remainder. 6 goes into 21, 3 times 3 remainder. 6 goes into 37, 6 times remainder 1. So this is the same thing as 336 and 1/6 pi. Right? So what would be a good multiple of 2 pi to subtract from this? 336 pi. Remember, you can add or subtract any multiple of 2 pi or 360 degrees and you don't end up at the same place, right? So what happened? What is 336 and 1/6 minus 336?
1/6.
1/6 pi. So this angle reduces down to simply pi over 6. That's the answer. But now you got to change it back. So how do you change it back? KISS is an abbreviation for cosine theta plus I sine theta. And then you just got to know your trig values. Cosine of pi over 6. Here's pi over 6. Root 3/2. Sine of pi over 6. 1/2 I. Distributize the 1. And your final answer is root 3/2 plus 1/2 I. Hey, it's the same as the original problem, kind of.
It is.
Yeah, but that's just, it's not luck, but.
Wait, does this always happen?
No! Like if we raised it to the 2018 power, then the answer would have been 1/2 plus radical 3/2I. If you raised it to the 2019 power, the answer would have just been I. Because I know things. So yeah, so you have to work it out. That's what you gotta do. You gotta work out the problem.
I'll just guess.
Okay, cool, guess. Okay, so test is tomorrow now. In case you guys didn't know. Lee, you brought the check yet? No, never mind.
Thought you ordering the calculator, boy.
Well, it's Kim.
Okay, we finished already. You got 30 something minutes.
Can you use a
And then, wait, we have the test tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Thursday already? Friday we start worksheets. Preparing for the final exam. And yes, they count as homework though. It'll be 5 points each though. So don't, some of you are thinking, all right, just gonna cruise.